Frederick Running Festival Press Luncheon. We'll get started here shortly. Just a quick reminder to shut your phones off or put them on vibrate, please. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our Executive Director of the event, Mr. Lee Corrigan. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. Of course, today we're gathered here to celebrate and announce the 17th annual Frederick Running Festival. You know, John, they said it couldn't be done. They said that we couldn't bring a first-class event to Frederick, and we did it 17 years ago, and it just keeps building and building. We're super proud of it, and we're also proud to be joined by all of you. You know, a lot of familiar faces in the crowd here today that make this event go and make it special, okay? So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Say it takes a great team, and we got a great team. Our CSE crew, we got Amanda, we got Dave Gell, we got Sebastian, we got Ryan, and we got the Clemmer, Frederick's own Mark Clem right there, who is one of the guys that's taken the lead on this event. So hats off to Mark and the great job that he has done. Also like to recognize our good friends from the Frederick Police. Now, we do this all over the country, right? And let me tell you, Mayor, the Frederick Police do an awesome job. They're easy to work with. They're great to work with. They're truly looking out for the community. So hats off go to Sergeant Tracy Wiles, Corporal Andy Alger, who's there, Lieutenant Mike Lee, and of course the Chief Ed Hargis, who's not with us today, but he's out there fighting crime, doing what he's supposed to do, right? Fire and Rescue, Doug Walla, Ken Poole, all those people that keep our runners safe, Scott Geezy, Mike Stockman, Mike Winpickler, Sarah Stamper, all those folks that put out the cones and make sure that we do a great job directing our runners throughout the streets of Frederick and really make it simple, not just for our runners, but also for all the residents. And so they know, they're very well aware of the event. And I know one of the things that is so comforting to me and also to City Hall is that those folks do such a great job, and we do a very good job prior to the event, that it lessens the noise that ultimately comes here to City Hall. And that's our whole game, is we got to find a way to keep those phone lines quiet. And the way we do that is by over-communicating. So that's really important. City Traffic Engineer's Office, Sam DeLawrence, Public Works, Zach and Keith, our friends from the Parking Department, Linda Klein, All County Security does a great job supplementing the efforts of the Frederick Police Department, along with our good friends from CHS, who are our flaggers. You'll see a bunch of flaggers out there. And hats off to my man John Baer and Michelle, who joined us here from the Frederick Fairgrounds. A great place to start and finish the race. Ample parking, easy to get to, great infield area for our after party, right? Great grandstands overlooking the finish line. It's actually the perfect setup. So. And these guys have been great to work with since day one. So thank you. Hats off to you guys, as always. At this time, I would like to introduce Frederick's #1 runner, Mayor Mike O'Connor.
Thank you. It's true, I have run 3 times and won. Elections, not marathons. I don't have much experience running marathons. I'm not sure that I know how that would go, but someday maybe I'll try. Couch to marathon in how long?
16 weeks.
16 weeks? I can do it in 16 weeks? Okay. I'll put that on the calendar for 2030 something. Well, good afternoon, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and this is always one of the great opportunities in the city because this is the indication that spring is upon us, and it's certainly something as a community that we really look forward to when we know the marathon has come to town. I want to thank Lee Corrigan and Corrigan Sports for their long-term relationship and the commitment that they have and the company has had for Frederick and the Frederick Running Festival. It's the Mid-Atlantic's best half marathon.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I'd also like to thank, as Lee has done, our city team because it would not be possible without a great partnership between Corrigan Sports and the city of Frederick. And we get great support from our police department and the work that they put into this event, our Department of Public Works, Parks, others, our Economic Development Office, everyone who helps to make sure that the race goes off without a hitch, that our runners are safe, that our residents are kept informed, and it's what makes this a great event that our community can look forward to and rally around. I am certainly hopeful. The other thing that this does is it brings a lot of visitors to the community, and that's an important thing for us as a city. We love our tourists. I know our tourism director loves our tourists, and with our many great restaurants and fine eating establishments and shops, our beautiful downtown, shops all across the city, we know that and hope that the runners and their supporters will come to town and patronize the many things that this community has to offer, from the culture to the history to the activities and entertainment. And that's really important. Our businesses look forward to your business being a part of what we do every day in the city of Frederick. We know that a day like this requires a lot of coordination. It doesn't mean that there will not be inconveniences. That's why the over-communication is really important. We work as hard as we can to make sure that our residents are apprised of what will be happening the day of the race, the day before the race, throughout the whole event, so that we can minimize those inconveniences to the greatest extent possible, working with our church community, our nonprofits, the business community. We all want this to be successful, because when it's a successful event for Corrigan sports, it's a successful event for the city of Frederick, and that's very important to us. The one thing that we do not control is the weather. So we like to think that we do sometimes, but we don't. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that the runners will have a pleasant day for running. A pleasant day for running and a pleasant day for doing a lot of other things don't always necessarily mean the same thing. So we hope that at least on this day, the runners get the weather that they want, even if that maybe isn't the best for everything else that we might want to do. And lastly, it shouldn't be lost that this event is about the community in terms of the fundraising that Corrigan Sports over the years has been able to do on behalf of a wide array of charitable nonprofits in the organization. And the number that I collected just prior to this today is more than $500,000 in contributions to nonprofit organizations over the 16 years of this race. And that's a phenomenal give back to the important work that our nonprofit community does here in the city of Frederick across a whole host of activities. So once again, I want to say thank you. I think the partnership and the relationship has been fantastic. It's really something that we look forward to. 6:45 is early for me to get up and greet the racers, but I'll be there. I'll be there to say hello, and we're really looking forward to a great event here in the city this weekend. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Mayor. One of the key parts of this event and any event, of course, is your sponsorship support. And we have been blessed here in Frederick to have great sponsorship support over the years. The money that our sponsors provide goes to our coffers, and what we do with that money is we market and promote this thing locally, regionally, and nationally, which is really, really important. And I know that we'll be talking about economic impact and those things in a little bit, but that's where that money goes. And it also goes to these awesome premium items that, of course, the Frederick Running Festival has become known for, and that is what it looks like this year. And the runners will take this, and it's so important that we do a good job with this number. And the reason is because we don't want our shirts washing cars. We want our shirts being worn up and down Market Street. We want our shirts being worn in Chicago, in Baltimore, in Washington, D.C., in Philadelphia, at those events. And so invariably what happens is a runner may be standing in line in Philadelphia, say, in November, and they're wearing this shirt. And somebody runs into them and says, "Hey, I heard that's a pretty cool half marathon. Tell me about it." And that guy turns into our grassroots marketing representative. So that's what we're going for with these. And thanks to our sponsors, we're able to do this. So this year, we are proud to once again have Frederick Foot and Ankle as our presenting sponsor of the entire event. Okay, their support allows us to put on that first-class event and really do a great job delivering for our runners. like to thank our good friends at Frederick Foot and Ankle. Kevin's here, Damon, Dr. Brenna Steinberg, and at this time, I'd like to introduce our presenting sponsor, Dr. Nikki Ho, partner at Frederick Foot and Ankle, to say a few words.
Hi. I want to thank Lee Corrigan for giving us this. Oh, thank you. Yes, you're right. I'm a lot shorter than you. I want to thank Lee Corrigan for giving us this great opportunity and inviting us back. We're really excited to be so closely involved with the Frederick Running Festival as the title sponsor again this year. Frederick Foot and Ankle has been privileged to help and serve this community for the past 19 years. We are a team of 8 foot and ankle surgeons specializing in podiatric medicine and surgery. Today, we employ over 65 people. They're really a fantastic group. And we have 3 offices located in Frederick, Maryland, Urbana, Maryland, and Martinsburg, West Virginia. Our primary goal is to treat your lower leg, foot, and ankle concerns using conservative treatments and the latest advancements in medicine. We treat everything from foot and ankle trauma and fractures to ingrown toenails. And helping runners and walkers is our specialty. If you want to know more about what we do and how we can help, you can visit our website at mynewfeet.com. It's been an honor to partner with the Frederick Running Festival for the past several years. There's a buzz and an energy around the community, and especially right in our office with our patients, the staff, the doctors. Everyone gets really excited for this event. That enthusiasm grows each year as more and more people are getting involved and signing up to participate and just taking those steps at becoming more active. It's been amazing for me to be a part of that progression over the years and to see Frederick Foot and Ankle's role grow as the title sponsor today. In addition to the Frederick Running Festival, we sponsor over 50 local running and community events each year. We also support several charities like the Frederick Rescue Mission, Hartley House, and Girls on the Run. We want to keep encouraging new runners and athletes, and we want to help everyone live the healthiest, most active life they can. We are so truly honored to be Frederick's podiatrists. So we hope to see you out there on race day, and we want you to know that we are here with you and for you every step of the way. Our mantra at Frederick Foot and Ankle is, we keep you moving. Thanks.
Good job. Thank you, Doctor. This year, we have 35 different states represented and Canada, which is music to the ears of our friends, John Fiesler and Richard Griffin, and their teams at Economic Development and Visit Frederick, who have been so supportive over the years. I'm going to ask the dynamic duo of Frederick Business to stand up and say a few words, Mr. Richard Griffin and John Fiesler.
Well, I'm not a doctor. Morning, John Fiesler, Executive Director of Visit Frederick. And Lee, each year when this event rolls around, I think back to the very beginning, before we brought the well-oiled machine of Corrigan Sports in, and it was a fledgling local committee that laid out a course for runners a little bit earlier in the spring. If I remember right, it was like the last weekend of March, and it snowed. So that was something. So we don't worry about spring showers in May, as long as it doesn't snow on folks. It certainly is, as everything the mayor said, I will echo. We are delighted to see the folks that come from out of town, and always happy to hear those statistics of folks coming from other states and even abroad. I just, before I left the Frederick Visitor Center this morning, overheard our staff talking to somebody who was bringing their entire family here. A family member was going to be running their first half marathon, and they were all coming from out of town for 2 nights in a hotel, God bless them, and looking for other things to do in our community. So there, is a good example of the economic impact we have. We certainly love to partner with the city and the Department of Economic Development to do that, because in addition to folks running the beautiful course, the runners themselves, if they haven't been here before, see how gorgeous our community is, and we'll make plans to come back on a day they're a little less busy. And as we said, we have friends and family traveling with them to visit. So it's a pleasure. Richard?
So good morning. I'm Richard Griffin, Director of Economic Development for the City of Frederick, and John and his team over at Visit Frederick do an incredible job helping promote Frederick. And I just want to say that we're now getting more than around 2 million visitors a year coming into Frederick, part of them coming for events like this, and the impact that those visitors are having on our businesses and our community is tremendous, from the gas stations on the Golden Mile to our restaurants and carbo loading, which I'm really good at in downtown. So I just want to say a couple words on different things. That sports tourism is a really big thing around the country. They say it's anything that involves people traveling to a location from outside the region to watch or participate in a sporting event. And sports tourism has become a really, really big activity, and it's one that our community takes really seriously. For Frederick, it generates real economic impact and quality of life. For example, let me give you just a couple thoughts. Our residents, for the residents, it adds yet another unique recreational opportunity to run, cheer, or build community pride. The number of 6 a.m. front yard parties continues to increase every year with mimosas and all kinds of different festive morning drinks and food. Community pride and placemaking increases public interest in buying homes, in investing in our businesses, and as a community that's striving to attract diverse talent to our community, place matters. So these runners may also be people that want to eventually come back and buy a home here, live here, have a business here, work for a business here. For the others that we've all heard about from outside the region, they eat, they drink, they shop, they race, they leave, they spend a lot, and we don't have to educate their kids. They serve a great long-term marketing proposition for the community, as Lee said. They wear their gear all over the country. They tweet, they post, they share their experiences about Frederick with a multitude of social media platforms. And all of a sudden, Frederick takes on this great place to visit, live, work, play, invest. And those are the kinds of messages that we're trying to get out nationally. And then there's the dollars and cents. And the event generates really real economic returns. They've done periodic economic impact studies using Towson University's Regional Economic Studies Institute, which at the time of the last study a few years ago estimated that the impact was over $3.5 million of direct and indirect economic impact here in Frederick. They've got 35 states and countries, got Canada, I think, coming and things like that, and I understand the event has grown by 15% over last year, so you can see that these dollars, they add up over time. So I want to just say maybe that, you know, the runners and their families, they stay in our hotels, they carbo load in our restaurants, they tell incredible race stories about over local breweries and our craft breweries, about how they broke their personal best race time or while they were leaping over small children and pets along the way. And they gear up in the latest fashions, they fuel their chariots at our local convenience stores and gas stations, and we do like to hear the sound of the cash registers ringing. So I'd like to just offer a big hand to all of our hoteliers, retailers, eateries, watering holes around Frederick that are geared up to support the race. And finally, just saying that we're fortunate to have a great sporting event in this event, but we have a lot of other sporting events during the year as well, and we want to make sure that we support and come out for those events as well. So on race morning, with luck, I'm going to be manning a water stop with my wife and 2 kids, and I encourage other people to do it. And I know you're thinking now that if I ran as much as I talk, that I'd be in great shape. So I'm going to just say the thing that I say at every race, that be safe and remember that runners are more likely to survive the zombie apocalypse and they get cheaper health insurance. So with that, I'm going to turn the podium back over to Lee.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to give you the overview of the whole event weekend. Of course, tomorrow, or Saturday, on the 4th, it kicks off at the Frederick Fairgrounds, where we have our Health and Fitness Expo. This is where all the runners go to pick up their race premium item, that awesome sweatshirt, as well as their race bib. Of course, it's it's a really nice scene there, and there's a lot of different vendors, so you have the opportunity to visit with a lot of vendors. A lot of our volunteers are doing a great job there, making sure that runs smoothly. Thinking about it, we have over 7,000 people coming through those doors and going through our mousetrap, and we got to get them their bib, we got to get them their premium item, we got to get them around to see all the vendors and out, and we couldn't do it without our volunteer support. So It's a really important part of our event. Next, at 5 p.m. on Saturday, one of my favorite parts of the event is the Kids Fun Run. We got 2 heats, about 300 to 350 total kids that participate in this event every year, and it is awesome. It looks like a jailbreak. The kids have the opportunity to run halfway around the track, and they finish right at the same finish line as the half marathoners. So they get the thrill of running down the finish stretch to the cheers of thousands. It's a lot of fun if you haven't seen that. And then at 6 p.m., sold out this year, over 2,000 runners, which is exciting, is the 5K. And the 5K heads out towards Frederick International Airport. I know it's not international, but I always like to say that. Someday, right, Richard? Frederick Airport, and then they head back, of course, and they finish right there in front of the fairground stands, the grandstand there, and it's a great race. And then Saturday evening, of course, in the Visit Frederick Celebration Village, we got a party going on. And we got an ice cold beer for the runners, and we got some inflatables for the kids, and we got a lot of fun and games going on there. It's a lot of fun. Then, of course, on Sunday, 7 a.m., the half marathon and 2-person relay presented by our good friends from Frederick Foot and Ankle, 4,500 half marathoners and 250 2-person relay teams will take off right there from Patrick Street, right in front of the fairgrounds. And I'm going to do a quick little tour here because one of the things that I noted, myself and the climber, where's the climber? There he is. We took a tour, and like I said earlier, we do races all over the country, and we do a lot of city tours, okay? And let me tell you, Frederick's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And I hadn't been on a tour for probably 3 years, right? But it was one of those beautiful early spring days, and all the blossoms on the trees were just blowing up, and it was gorgeous. So I want to do this because I think it's important. You know, obviously we start here, right here at Patrick Street. We run down E Street, head out to here, the stadium, the baseball stadium. Then we head straight up Market Street, which is really cool, right? Then we run down here, down Benz, through Baker Park, all right? Then we head right over there. My aunt Peggy lives right on Fairview, 145. And then we head back along Baker Park, head up to Hood College. This neighborhood is absolutely gorgeous and stunning if you don't know it. And then, of course, run up Fairview, back to Market Street, up across 16th Street, down Schifferstadt, Monocacy Boulevard, into Monroe, into the Frederick Fairgrounds, halfway around the track in front of the grandstand. It is a beautiful route, and for the fun of it, you should drive it someday because it really showcases Frederick really, really well. So super proud of that. We have a couple unique aspects of our event, right? Every year, we're trying to come up with funny and goofy things to promote our event. And a couple years ago, we introduced the Nut Job. And the Nut Job is a guy or a girl who run the 5K on Saturday evening, and then they come back next day for some more. And they run the half marathon the next day. And then they get a medal that says, I'm a nut job from Frederick. It's pretty funny. It's a squirrel. But this year, we came up with a brand new one, okay? And it is called the BFD. And I know what you're thinking, Carlotta. I wouldn't say that, all right? But you are a big friggin' deal if you can finish this, okay? Baltimore 10-miler, Frederick half marathon, and Delaware marathon or half marathon makes you a BFD. And you get this little baby. So speaking of economic impact, this is one of our little tricks, right? Marketing tricks. So what we have is we have a bunch of people from the Philadelphia area. We have over 300 BFDers that are coming here to Frederick to participate and get this awesome medal. So this is the leg 2 of the BFD Triple Crown, if you will. And so that will be given out in Baltimore ultimately when they finish the Baltimore 10-miler in about 5 weeks. So just something I thought I'd make sure that everybody was aware of. Of course, one of the great things about our event, we know how to throw a party, right? So the Visit Frederick Celebration Village is open Saturday evening after the 5K, all right? And that goes on probably from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Then we got to get them out of there because we got to get a good night's sleep. We got to get everything set up. And then on Sunday, of course, that's open from 8 a.m. until about 1 p.m. until we're breaking down the whole, facility. And it's a party. There's thousands of people in the infield having a great time. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our medical partner, our good friends from Ski Liberty Patrol and Frederick Memorial Hospital, who do such a great job for us. We got a couple medical stations along the course, and then we have one big one right there at the Frederick Fairgrounds. Special thanks goes to Sasha Spear and Steve Sobolewski. I got that one right. Clemmer, you didn't think I'd get that one right, did you? From Ski Liberty Medical Team, along with our good friends from the Frederick Memorial Hospital, Dottie Corbett, Alexa Brown, and Abby Gross-Nickel, who do such a great job for us, and they keep our runners safe, and they attend to them very quickly. Also like to thank our volunteers. Every year it takes over 500 volunteers to put this event on. Think about that. We got all the water stops out there. Then we have the finish line, what's going on at the finish line. We have people working the day before, handing out bibs and handing out the premium items. So they do a terrific job for us. And I wanted to thank Clem, has done a great job with that. Sadie McClellan and Jaron Brooks on our team. We have some of our charity partners I want to recognize. Heifer International, Hospice of Frederick, Girls on the Run, Swim Team of Frederick County, the Boy Scout Troop 274, who I think Richard Griffin is leading that charge for us, Redfin, FCA Endurance Group, and of course, Mark Lawrence and the Frederick Steeplechasers do a great job with their course marshals out there on the street on some of those tricky intersections. So special thanks also goes to our good friend Lori. Where's Lori? I know she's there. The Lori Farrell. She's been with us since day one, by the way, and she's running the roost there at the Expo Day and getting people processed through that expo, so make sure that they get their race bib and their race premium. So special thanks to her. Before we even start the race, or the first runner even crosses the finish line, we'd like to present some charitable funds to some worthy charities. I'm going to ask Mary O'Connor to come back up here. And we're going to break out some big checks. First one goes to our good friend, Service Coordination, our good friend Ann McDonald, who runs the volunteer show for us every year, a huge asset of ours. We'd like to invite Ann, come on up. Get a picture with the mayor and the big check, would you? Thank you. And you're going to say a couple words. All right, Ann, we need you to say a few words. We're putting you on the spot, girl.
And I'm one of those short people. So thank you to Corrigan Sports. Service coordination, what we do is we find resources for people with disabilities in our community. And sometimes the money that is used is for people, for example, who might need rent money or need their heat bill paid. They might need certain technology. So this has come in very handy over the last, how many years? 10, 12 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Good job. Next up, our longtime partner, an organization who's put years back on my life because they do a great job helping with setup and tear down every year. And so they save the backs of the Corrigan Sports Enterprises staff. I got a hats off to my good friend, Arnold Farlow and his team. I'd like to invite Arnold up and his team up to get a picture with that big check, and then also ask you to say a few words, Arnold.
Putting yours on after my call.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Lee, I just want to thank you and your team. It's always a pleasure to work with you. The Frederick Rescue Mission, we have about 90 men that come through there a year for drug addiction, homelessness. We also have Faith House, where we have 20-plus women and children and shelter at our Faith House. We also serve lunch and breakfast to the community, over 130,000 meals a year. And then we have a food distribution center. We have about 8,000 to 10,000 people that come through there a month to get groceries. We talked a lot about economic development, economic vitality, economic driver. Well, because of this event, it reaches every citizen, every person in the community, no matter what place they are in life. And it's really something to be up here with this event and everything. But I just want to thank Lee. I think he's a personal friend. Anyway, you've been such a blessing to me and the mission.
Thank you. Thank you, Arnold. Brenna, you just snuck in, you little devil. Dr. Brenna Steinberg from Frederick Foot and Ankle is joining us. I want to thank you and your team once again for all your support. You guys are awesome, and we couldn't do all the things that we do without their support, so it's important that everybody recognizes that. This year, we're also proud to be making a donation to our friends from Community Living. I want to ask my good friend, Carlotta, to come on up here, and her team.
Well, Lee, thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
Oh my goodness, this year flew by for us at the fastest rate you can imagine. But our clients start asking in December when the running festival is so they can help. Community Living is an agency that provides support and services for individuals with developmental disabilities in Frederick. We're actually very true to our name because community is what we do. Our clients participate in 13 sports and visit just about every restaurant in Frederick and outside of Frederick. And we've been using the funds to buy sports equipment and storage space in order to put the equipment there. And we really appreciate it. We've been doing this for, I guess, about 15 years. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carlotta. And of course, you're in charge of the weather, right? The good news is we got a pastor on our side when it comes to the weather. I want to recognize our friends from Summit Trace Church who provide the sunrise services and pass out medals at the finish line. I'd like to invite Pastor Dan to say a few words. And
All right, he gave a pastor a microphone. This will be okay. So it's interesting. He's been saying that the running festival's been around for 17 years. Oh my! Summit Trace Church has been around for 17 years. We've been helping with the running festival since we've been in existence. Every year we started out manning a water table, and then memory's not my strong suit. And I think around 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, we took over leading the sunrise service to give those who are skipping church to be able to come out and participate in this super duper event, and an opportunity to have that experience at the race team. So our church, for the last 10 years, we actually shut down on Sunday morning. We move what we normally do at 10 o'clock, and we do it at 6:10 a.m. Out on the start line for the running festival. This is a great opportunity to participate in something that is good for the community economically, as well as it promotes health and wellness and self-care, which is something that I'm passionate about as well. So it's been a blessing and a privilege to be able to do this, and I look forward to be able to doing it many years in the future.
thank you. Also, I want to recognize Mark Lawrence and his team from the Frederick Steeplechasers who do such a great job out there course marshaling. He snuck in behind us. So he came for the awesome food, by the way. Mark Clem got all the food from Black Hog, so your timing's perfect, Mark. So at this time, I'm going to invite the media to ask any questions that they may like to of me and the the mayor or whoever. Say that? Oh, yes, we are going to run rain or shine. The only thing that'll stop us is bad thunder and lightning. Up, 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 up. Right now, we are pacing as of yesterday at 9 a.m. when Sadie on our team, who's the database manager, she downloads where we are exactly at this date compared to last year, and we were up 15%. And we are hoping, knock on wood, that that holds up, but it certainly looks like we're going to have a good year when it comes to our growth. Any other questions? All right. Well, before everybody leaves, you got to hit the buffet table because the food is awesome. And you also have to take one of those sweatshirts, okay? So, Dave Gale, you have anything else? Awesome. Thank you all for coming and making the event so great. Thank you.